All right, everyone. I'm glad you're here today. Welcome to Life Class. Tuesday Life Class. Some of you guys call it Happy Tuesday. And it is Happy Tuesday. If it's not Happy Tuesday, it's still a good Tuesday. How are you tonight?
I'm in a rush, but I'm here.
Your big watch is bumping the table. This is a huge watch. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are here with us. We've been busy just before going live. You were working on your bike, and I was pulling up vinyl and cleaning off concrete. Working hard, but feel good working. Feel good enough to work. Anyway, who's here? Pastor Norman is here, first one here tonight. Hello, Pastor Norman.
Norman J. Johnson.
And then there's Sissy and brother-in-law. How's your brother doing, brother-in-law? How's your brother doing? Hey, Linda Langdon.
Linda Lee.
I did contact your friend, Linda Shadler, and she emailed me back. She had been to the beach, so hopefully you talked to her and she'll watch us or whatever, and we'll see where it goes from there. Hey, Delphine, I'm glad you're here. John Greason is in the house, and
Dr.
Kathy
John
is here. Kathy, have things gotten better for you? I need to know. We've been praying with you, sweetie pie. Praying with you. And Delphine is saying hello to everybody. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's get started. Let's raise our vibration while everybody else is deciding to come in. And I don't know about you, but when you've been involved with so many things all during the day, you sometimes have to stop, take a pause, and recenter. And that's what we're going to do right now. I want you to take a deep breath in if you can remove all distractions around you. Hopefully you're in a place where it's quiet and not a lot of noise. And let's just center ourselves right now, okay? Take a deep breath in and let it go. And take another deep breath in and release it now. And before I start, let me know if you're hearing and see us clearly. I forgot to ask you that. So someone please let us know if you're seeing us and hearing us clearly. Let's just take another deep breath in and release it now with all tension, all concerns, everything that you might have on your plate to do, anything that may have come up this week that is pressing. Let's just put it aside for a moment, okay? For a moment. And repeat after me, or you can listen, whichever is best for you. I give thanks to thee, O God, for my existence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for your presence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for this awareness. For the awareness of my existence. I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. I think I want to do this one again. I give thanks to thee, O God, for my existence, for your presence, for this awareness, for the awareness of my existence. And I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. On this day, I ask to be a vehicle of divine love and a channel of your will. I surrender all personal will through devotion. I dedicate my life to service. I choose love and peace above all other options. I commit to the goal of unconditional love and compassion. And I surrender all judgment, all opinions. Father, let this day not be a day spent in the mind, but a day absorbed in unity with you inside my heart. Be in my eyes and in my seeing. Be in my ears and in my hearing. Be in my mouth and in my speaking. Be in my mind and in my understanding. Fill me with yourself and replace me with you. And so it is. And so it is. What you got on your plate, darling?
Well, we were talking about the contracts that we filled out,
Yeah.
and this was done at the speed of light, faster than light, faster than the Sonic Hedgehog, faster than Flash, faster than a speeding bullet. Faster than a prostitute in church. But anyway.
Oh, Lord.
I said it, didn't I? I said it.
You
Okay.
did. Hey, Sister Chris. Thanks for checking on us. Thank you, sweetie.
Appreciate that.
Well,
Go ahead.
You got something definite you want
Yeah,
to start
but
with?
if you got something to read, go ahead.
I do, but I don't want to throw you off.
No, you won't. You
You
won't.
sure? Okay. This is out of the book by Dr. David Hawkins. Here it is. The Eye of the Eye. Dr. David R. Hawkins. Okay. It is not light reading. For those of you who are interested in purchasing books, it is not light reading. However, it is he was very, very insightful. This chapter is about the desire for enlightenment. And I thought, when I read it, I thought this is great. Okay. And it's talking about us as the seeker.
And this is also a part of our contract that was built, structured into our essence.
Yeah.
To want to express what you give me to read.
Yes. Okay. So here we go. Sometimes the seeker puts forth great effort and patience, and discouragement follows. And at this stage, the ego assumes that there is an I, capital I, that is seeking an it, the state of enlightenment. And then it doubles or redoubles its efforts. Traditionally, the pathways to God have been through the heart. I needed to say that because a lot of us, we've tried to connect with God through our minds, through the intellect, which there's nothing wrong with. But going at it from the heart is a totally different type of journey. And he's mentioning it here. He says, traditionally, the pathways to God, that's traditionally, the pathways to God have been through the heart, love, devotion, selfless service, surrender, worship, and adoration, or through the mind, which is the pathway of non-duality or the Advaita, all of those other sacred texts that are not biblical necessarily, but they are sacred texts. Each way may seem more comfortable at one stage or another, or they may alternate in emphasis. Either way, it is a hindrance to consider that there is a personal self or an I, capital I, or an ego that is doing the striving and seeking, or which will become enlightened. Okay? It is much easier to realize that there is no such thing as the ego or an I identity that is doing any seeking, but instead it is an impersonal aspect of consciousness that is doing the exploring and seeking. A useful approach is to let the love for God replace the willfulness that is driving the seeking.
Mm-hmm.
One can release all desire to seek and realize that the thought that there is anything else but God is vanity. This is the same vanity that claims authorship for your experiences, your thoughts, and actions. It can be seen that both the body and the mind are the result of innumerable conditions, and that one is at best the witness.
Mm-hmm.
Out of an unrestricted love for God arises the willingness to surrender all motives except to serve God completely. To be the servant of God becomes one's goal rather than enlightenment. That makes sense, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
To be a perfect channel for God's love is to surrender completely and to eliminate the goal seeking of the spiritual ego. Wow, that's something. Joy itself becomes the initiator of further spiritual work.
Okay. Now,
So it's not driven by intellect. I want to know more about God, or I want to know more of this truth. While those things are beneficial, the traditional path of the heart is totally different. It's through devotion. It's through a love for God. And not many people, I won't say not many people, I won't say it that way. But we have come into a group of spiritual beings who are seeking enlightenment, but don't necessarily have the same love for God in a devotional sense. And I think that's beneficial for people to have that. Because that's what happened to us. We said this on Sunday. We were lured or baited or won by love. That's what attracted us. It wasn't just wanting to know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And having profound teaching tickles your ears, and it does feel good to have revelation and inspiration. That's wonderful, but it's a devotion that also can attract people to this same enlightening experience.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, yesterday I was in the garage, and me and Scotty was looking at two pieces of metal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One piece was aluminum, and the other piece was steel. And what we wanted to do was take the same fabric of each one and find out how to get the others together.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot take steel and put it with aluminum. So the
Okay.
way we found out how much content was in either side, we took a magnet.
Right.
A magnet will not attract itself to
Anything but that.
but steel.
That's steel. Yes.
It,
Yes.
the metal of the copper or whatever you call the aluminum, the magnet will not attract it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the steel has what's called sludge.
Sludge. Mm-hmm.
And sludge is what causes the blue flame.
Mm-hmm.
The blue flame is the hottest flame that is used to make a screw hard, so hard that you can take a bolt or a screw and use it for threads on a softer piece of metal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we design and set this thing up in the infinite essence, for the victory is built and made out of us.
Yes.
So the reason why eternal life essence is mentioned in this dimension is for us to clear up the understanding of why darkness seems to be tragic. And my knees knock when I say this, because the boldness of being able to deal with the copper and the aluminum anywhere around steel, the steel automatically will outweigh the aluminum.
Yeah.
And we designed this thing to outweigh the lightest of fabric. And so Scotty took the magnet, and he was going to try to put steel with aluminum. It won't work. But it can be used as sludge to show the difference between an opposite.
Okay.
So we set this thing up. When I say we, I'm giving the we us. Now go spirit now. Go to the eternal essence. And a lot of the minds that are listening, when we say we are eternal in the same class of God, the first thing the ego mind want to say, he's saying we are God. That's blasphemy. No, Jesus said it himself, that he spoke to men during that time, John 10, that we are gods. And it said in the script. The script. Now we're back to the script. We set this thing up to come to this earth in this story to appear like the story is real, and in the fabric of the aluminum and the steel, it is real, but it's a real story.
Yes, it is.
All right. Okay.
It is. Yes.
Now, when you get into this thing,
now I wanted to add.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to add when you mentioned the magnet attracting steel and all of that, and it has to be a particular metal. The magnet won't even magnify.
Yeah, because he put them both together, and the magnet wouldn't
it
will
not attract
to the aluminum.
It will not attract that
it won't
metal.
do it.
And I thought about the essence of God inside of these bodies or these forms that we have. That essence is the attraction of the God essence, which is love. The love of God is pulling like a magnet.
That's right.
That essence that's in here.
So there is no fear in us of being placed next to a weaker metal, and we are not of that character, if we may use that word in this dream world. We are not of that character to feel anywhere intimidated, because aluminum cannot perform like steel.
Right.
There's no war. There's no fight.
Right.
But the ego is the one that created the idea that a fight is necessary.
Right.
So what we did,
or that struggle is necessary.
Yeah. So what we do is use the ego as a backboard to bounce off of us, to amplify the more resonance of the attractive factor of the iron or the steel. Iron and steel, different thing. But you can mix them together.
Yeah.
And cause them both to accommodate each other.
Okay. And
now,
so that means what?
That means that once one wakes up to what we're saying, there will come a place where there will be no more struggle with trying to find out where light began and light end.
Okay. I hear you.
The substance of that was hope. I heard a guy say it, one of the guys say he didn't believe in God.
Yeah, I heard that.
And he said that across the congregation. He said, I don't believe in God. He said, belief is for children.
Yes.
He said, the grown-ups know God.
Mature people know God.
The grown folks, the grown-ups, the mature know God. Yes. They don't have to believe.
They're beyond believing.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, I want you guys to get this now.
Yeah.
Being beyond faith is fact. Being beyond belief is fact and reality.
Yes. Yes.
Now that you have found out where God is, I was the lady. There was a lady in the parking lot yesterday, and she stopped. She dropped something and broke it, and we got to talking. And this phrase came out. Said the man upstairs.
Mhm.
What man upstairs? Okay, let him be upstairs. Where are you downstairs? You the same downstairs as that it is upstairs.
Mhm.
Hot dog.
You know, some of us have spent our
Ooh-wee.
entire lives trying to connect with the man
Upstairs.
upstairs. Yes.
Now, what?
Not realizing the man upstairs is here.
We
Down
are.
is downstairs.
We are the man upstairs, downstairs. Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
Now,
mhm.
it comes out of people's mouth, effortless to say, well, you know, the man upstairs. And
Mhm.
one of these days, I'm going over there and I'm gonna meet the man upstairs.
That's just the traditional
Oh.
sayings that we've heard most of our lives. Yeah, some of us. I'm gonna say
Yeah, not all
everybody's
of
heard
us,
that.
no.
Some of us have heard that. We heard that growing up, and when we got in church, that's what we heard.
But the character of the weaker vessel knows how to take the weakness as a strength.
To use the weakness,
Mhm.
yes, to actually use it as fuel.
That means you will know how to, and listen, in Christ, as the Christ beingness,
Mhm.
you and I, if the story is correct,
Mhm.
sit at the table with all different forms of materialities.
Yes.
Even we sit at the table with this dream story, like Judas in the story was at the table around the 12.
Mhm, mhm.
Jesus did not have any problem with the aluminum,
The mixture.
the mixture sitting there.
He did not. That's right. He had no problem with the
No
mixture
problem with it.
whatsoever.
He called that weakness his friend.
Yes, he did. That adverse energy, he called it his friend.
Now, what we would like to do is bind it and loose it, cast it out,
And get it out of the way.
rub it till it can't smell no more. But your fragrance will outsmell any form of dredgeness, harshness.
Mm-hmm.
It may
dredgeness. Is that a new word?
Dredgeness means you dredged up, you pulled up some dirt, you pulled up something that seemed not to be useful.
Yeah.
And we try to say, I am not pure if I got some fault, or if we call it sin, we used to call it in the church, you got to clean up. God don't live in an unclean temple.
True. Well, I mean, let's even convert the church language, because I know that most of us, and I'm speaking for all of us, I think that you would bear witness to this. Most of us have spent those of us who have taken the spiritual journey, embarked on a spiritual journey, whether it was through religion or whether it was through some other means. We've constantly been trying to improve on what we are. Constantly not satisfied with what we are. Never really accepting ourselves, and constantly wanting to change what we see about ourselves. Some of us stay in introspection to the point that we are disturbed by our behavior, our mannerisms, our look, our everything. So yes, you're right about that. We are never satisfied with ourselves.
Now we understand, when you take Jesus or the Christ all the way back to the story in Genesis, that it says that in the story, Mary giving birth to Jesus is the same way the universe was used to give birth to Adam's body. Now, here's a jump. Here's the jump. Put Mary and the Immaculate Conception back in Genesis. Oh my
That's
God.
baby girl.
That's baby girl.
She's got a toy. I'm
She got
sorry. We
some- That's
apologize.
okay. She's all right. We want to put those together and do them like cards. Put them together.
Okay, like a deck of cards.
Deck of cards. Put them together. I never was good at doing that, but I remember how they did it.
Yeah.
And once this is joined together, it becomes a living soul.
Yes. Yes.
Living means life.
Living means life.
We are the eternal life.
And we are life.
We don't get it. We are it.
Yes. We are that eternal spirit. We don't have it. We are it.
We are that is talked about being eternal.
Yes.
I'll say it again.
Eternal is different from everlasting.
That's right.
Everlasting means it lasts a long time.
Okay.
But there is an end to everlasting.
Yes.
There is a measurement to everlasting.
Yes.
But there is no measurement to eternal. No time involved at all. It's not living forever.
There is nothing that is actually
living
to be condescending about anything or condescending in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Once it is seen.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it said, some say you can stop the mind from thinking, some say you can't.
I don't think it's important to even try.
No. Once the strength of beingness is noted, it says to all weakness, continue on as you are.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot
Mm-hmm.
transfer over to me
Right.
anything. Let's put it like this. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't exist.
Exactly. Now, I
Weakness.
have a couple other things I would like
Yeah, go
to
ahead,
read.
go ahead,
If
go ahead.
Unless you're on a roll. I
You're
don't want
fine,
to stop
you're fine.
anything you're doing.
No rolling. I'm just
This particular chapter is about the teacher. Okay. And I felt that we really needed to read. I need to read this because a lot of us don't really know what true teachers are.
okay.
Or how they conduct themselves. So here it is. He says, spiritual groups are often organizations with their own agendas. This is a pitfall for those who are the unwary for the spiritual world, as well as the ordinary world, because it contains charlatans whose purpose is to capture the naive for purposes of control, domination, power, money, or prestige, such as having lots of followers. The true teachers can be seen to have no interest in fame or in having followers, prestige, or trappings. The teachings and not the teacher are what is important.
Mm-hmm.
Inasmuch as the teachings do not come from the personage of the teacher at all, it does not make sense to idolize or worship that person. The information is transmitted as a gift because it was received as such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is therefore nothing to sell, to enforce, to control, to charge for, inasmuch as the information is free and a gift from God. A valid spiritual organization may make nominal charges to cover ordinary expenses, in that everyone contributes for the common good.
Mm-hmm.
The spiritual teacher transmits a benefit due not just to the words themselves, but to the high energy of consciousness which accompanies the words. The teacher's level of consciousness creates what might be likened to a carrier wave that accompanies and empowers the words.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, being awake is we are the awakeness.
Is realizing that that's what you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
we're talking about this. We always say this is grown folks talk,
Yeah.
and it is.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at the dream story of the past, it's no way that I would have said that when we got into this years ago what we're talking about now.
Right.
It was nowhere in our sight.
Right. Our level of understanding was nowhere near this. But I think our hearts were hungry for it, even though we didn't really know it at that time, or didn't even have the opportunity to see it at that time. I think our hearts hunged for it.
Here's a good one I'm going to lay on you. We are the continuous blessings of God.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
We are the continuous blessings of God. We're neither poor nor rich.
Yes, yes.
But completely fulfilled.
Complete.
Completely fulfilled. Complete.
Complete, without any lack.
That's right.
Yes, complete.
We came here to appear in this story like there is a lack and a slack or a shortcoming. And I hear people say, I'm growing in grace to get closer to God. Please, I bear with this.
Yeah.
We say these things. I had a call. I made a call last night, and a guy wanted me to come to his church and preach or teach, whatever. And he talked about growing in God. Once you understand what it means to no longer search to find God.
And some of us haven't even gotten there yet.
No.
At that point.
That aspect of growth is removed. We think growth is, I was asking God for something and I finally got it. So what we do is appear to others that since they haven't got there, that we made it and they got to get to where we are.
And we also think growth is when something bad happens, I'm not disturbed by it.
That's it.
Or I can pray and get over it quick and get out of it quick.
We came into the dream, or we created the dream to appear like certain things have to be forgiven. Oh my. And that certain things has to be given, and certain things has to be done in order for us to stay in Christ or to be with God and to find a place on Sunday morning to go to where we can say God showed up in this particular place, not realizing that we were him going to this place to play like he showed up through an emotion, through an expression. And I'm not putting these things down. I'm just pointing out how the sludge in the metal may always be there, but because we know the separation is not something to be to belittle. The separation is not something to make us feel like we're better, because we found this out of the strength of the opposite. So we go to places where we can, I say it like this, we go to stores where we can buy designer clothes. And if we go to the dollar store, we don't tell anybody we got this from the dollar store, but we give off the essence by wearing something or getting something that it came from the same store that they
from the
designer store. And when we tell them we got this, Michelle Obama was noted for that.
She was a good example
because she
used unknown black designers,
and she made her clothes look like they came from,
and some of them came from
the designer,
just regular stores.
Yeah, just regular stores.
And she dressed beautifully.
And we call that saving money. But see, in God, in Christ, in being in this essence, we're not trying to save anything. What we're out to do is to point them toward that they already have always been.
Pastor, you realize that a lot of people are really troubled by not having designer clothes
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. I saw a very well-known minister, I won't call his name. He and his wife went to Paris Fashion Week, which is a big bash for a lot of celebrities or whatever, people who are upper crust who have the money, and they buy designer clothes and they go to the shows, the fashion shows, and they watch the designers' collections as they come in. This particular minister and his wife went to Paris Fashion Week, which I have no problem with them going to that or buying designer clothes, but they had the era of posting it as a video. And my question was, why did they want to show that? And so here we go. A lot of people want that because they see others with it. So it is not a good thing to even put it before people. It's an egoic desire. It's an egoic desire.
Okay. Yes, I can see what you're saying.
Not that it's wrong for them to do it. They can do whatever they choose, but to put it out there for other people to see, that is when it crossed the line.
Here's another one. We are the God-forgiving essence. We are the full forgiveness of God toward anything before it take place.
Wow.
That's the reason why I say I now found out how to use the being already forgiveness toward anything. Then you said to me when a lady made a wrong turn and we were behind, and you said something like, do you see Christ in that? I said, yes, but I also see the other side too. So the watcher is watching it all.
Yes.
But we understand now, we know why the pointer is pointing it out so that we can stay fixed in that middle path without veering off the course.
And our expectation of what Christ is supposed to look like has to be converted, because we have this idolized image of what Christ is supposed to look like in other people. He's supposed to be very lovable, very proper, very, appropriate, and Christ appears in all of these different various forms, diverse forms, and some of them are very odd and inappropriate.
I just sitting here looking. You know what I found out what prayer is? Prayer is self-talk.
Yeah.
When Jesus said, I and the Father are one, he that have seen me have seen the Father, what he's saying is that it looks like I'm talking to somebody separate and apart from me. Have I not been so long with you, you've not known me? He switched into first person and they didn't catch it. What we're doing is the finite catching, seeing, beingness so fast. We are slowing this thing down to where the next time you talk to God, you'll be talking to your inside.
Well, Jesus said this. He said, Father, I know you hear me always.
Yes.
So there was a part of Jesus that was not speaking
now
in
you
prayer.
Got it. Now you got it.
It was not speaking a prayer, but then he said, but for their sakes,
yes,
I pray.
Yes.
So there is this, I almost said a formulated relationship where Jesus he had a non-verbal prayer constantly being transmitted to the Father inside himself.
What's so amazing about this? We can be distracted from our essence and still not lose 1 ounce of it.
Yes. Are we making any sense to you guys? I hope so. We're just kind of.
I can't hope we ain't making no sense.
Yeah. Well, if we're not, just let me know if you're still with us. we're just kind of carrying our own conversation here. I got something else I'd like to
Yeah,
read
go ahead,
if you
go
think
ahead.
it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
This particular chapter is out of the same book. What I'm reading is out of the same book. It's called What is Spiritual. Now, this is a really interesting chapter. He said, it is common for people to confuse spiritual with religious, and even with the supernatural or astral domains. They are, in fact, quite different, and this confusion often results in social strife and uncertainty. For instance, in the Constitution of the United States, it was stated with clarity by the originators that the rights of man stem from the divinity of their creation. And this was the establishment of the principle of spirituality. However, they differentiated this from religion by saying that citizens are to be free from the establishment of any religions. The founders were aware that religion divides and is based on secular power, whereas spirituality unites and has no worldly organization. The Constitution spells out that this is a nation whose government derives its authority from the spiritual principles of the Creator, and that it is to be guided by spiritual principles which see everyone as equal with justice and freedom for all. This obvious position has great power and needs no defense. Religion, on the other hand, is sectarian and divides people into conflicting groups with dire consequences to civilization and to life itself. History reveals this. The sole power of truly spiritual groups originates only from the truth of their teachings, and they have no significant earthly power or buildings or wealth or reigning officers. Generally, in spirituality, the central ideas which hold a group together are commonly those of love, forgiveness, peace, gratitude, thankfulness, kindness, non-materiality, and non-judgmentalism. Usually, religion, in essence, originally has a core of spirituality, which, however, becomes submerged and often lost from sight. Otherwise, war would have little chance to even occur. Spiritual truth, then, is universally true. That means it's true for everybody, not just one particular group. Spiritual truth is universally true and without variation through time or place. It always brings peace, harmony, accord, love, compassion, and mercy. Truth can be identified by these qualities. All else is the invention of the ego.
Now, here's what we found out today. And if we had known it years ago, we would have saved a lot of money. I was watching YouTube. We put white stone around our hedges and around the house.
At the bed of the house, yeah.
And every year we have to, it depends on how they wash out, wash away. We have to replace
They get dirty.
They get dirty, yeah. I found out today that you can get
white rock, or pea gravel,
glue,
and you
can spray this.
And there is such a thing as mulch glue.
Yeah, mulch glue. You found that out.
Yeah, and you can spray it on your rocks,
and you'll never have to put any more down. And it also kills the weeds.
And they never move.
They never move.
And when they get dirty, all you gotta do is wash them off.
Now look at that. I just saw that wisdom, that insight today. We've been putting gravel and all this stuff around every year, spending thousands of dump truck loads of pea gravel.
And for mulch,
we can get the glue and spray over it.
Yeah.
And it'll look constantly like brand new all the time, unless you want to add some more to it as you feel needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Not have to.
And when you have to blow your leaves, the mulch stays in place.
The mulch stays in place.
It's so simple.
Yeah. We just saw that today.
It's just so simple. And I'm thinking, man, had we known.
Yeah.
Marvita's asking us a question. Hey, darling, she says, and I meant to get back with you. I'm so sorry we've had so many issues come up till I forgot all about it. But I plan to to contact you anyway. But anyway, she's asking this. She said, would you say when you awaken, your prayer goes from being an outward expression to God to an inward interaction of communication and meditation? Is the quiet listening for the voice within, or the knowing found in the peace of meditation?
Let's say it a little easier. There's no work. You're awake. Let's say you're awake.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer is a conversation. Prayer is the event.
It is your internal conversation.
It is what we're doing now. This is prayer right here now. Yeah. We always, the mind or the ego relates prayer to being saying certain things. I come to you most somewhere, know how, Lord.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
No, you come to the place where you may do that, but that has no bearing as to prayer having to go somewhere or something to be received.
So actually what she's saying is actually true. She said
it's true.
That you go prayer goes from being an outward expression to an inward interaction of communication. Yes.
I picked up this. You become prayer.
Mm-hmm. You are the prayer.
You are the statement. You are the expression. Mm-hmm. You are the no lesser, no increase of prayer. It is what you have always been. Mm-hmm. Before you ever got into church or whatever, around the family of religion, church, spirituality, mm-hmm. you're the walking prayer. You are the staff of God in the rod of Aaron and Moses' rod that has and is. 1 minute you have, and next thing is in a second there's a turnaround. Mm-hmm. The great turnaround is you are talking to yourself, your pure self, to one pure self, mm-hmm. from another pure self, mm-hmm. to the wholeness. Mm-hmm. Now, waking up is forgiven. Mm-hmm. Waking up is the forgiveness of individuality separation. Oh, it's forgiveness.
That's good.
Waking up is forgiveness. That's good. Now we are finding out that forgiveness is not about doing something to show another that you apologize. You are the apologeticness of all forgiveness before it is ever pronounced.
Okay. John Greason says, and I'm not sure what part of what we're saying John's referring to, but it sounds pretty good. He said it's like eating an Oreo cookie. You have a white creamy filling.
Oh, Lord.
And a chocolate cookie.
Yes.
When you put them together, it's total bliss.
Yeah. Oh, John, don't say it like that. I'd like to have one right now.
My sister used to love, I'm not sure she still eats those, but she used to love Oreo cookies. Mm-hmm. And I think she would spend time licking the white out of it. Yeah. She would dip them in milk. Yeah. Yeah. She had a special way to eat an Oreo cookie.
When I talk to you on the telephone, online now, I am praying you. I am praying.
A lot of the scriptures say, I pray you.
I pray you. I pray you. Mm-hmm. I conversate. It's called light body conversation.
And John is referring to God's essence. It's like eating an Oreo
that's
cookie.
Right. That's it. That's it.
You have the quite creamy filling in a chocolate cookie. When you put them together, it's total bliss.
This is why essence cannot miss God, lose God.
It can't, because it is God.
Slip God out and slip God in.
Yeah.
Essence is not hearing the voice of God 1 minute and not hearing him the next.
Right. It is.
You are the voice speaking and hearing. You are the hearing of God and the speaking.
We're the voice walking.
And you are the walking book.
Yes.
You are the pages that don't turn
and I think
anymore or by numbers.
And we say these things, they sound very poetic and mystical, but in actuality, we are pretty much blinded to the appearance of God. God is appearing to us in all of these different myriad of forms in all kinds of playing all kinds of roles, and we miss seeing God because we expect it to look a certain way,
Yeah.
or to act a certain way. But God is constantly appearing. And I remember in the what was it, the poet Rumi, he wrote a poem that says God is veiled by his own appearing.
Yes.
In other words, he's appearing so much as all of these things that we see, all of these people that we see, all of these situations that we see, and we look at that and don't realize it is God.
You are the eternal doing, none doing,
Mm, mm, mm,
everlasting,
mhm,
no depleting, no deteriorating,
mm,
no blemished. There's no spot, no grease spots, no more soiling of the fabric
mm,
self.
mm.
You are the blend of materiality that is a reality that does not have to restore itself in order to maintain its existence.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I saw it.
The essence of God is not disturbed by our humanness.
You do
It's
not
not
have to be
disturbed.
constantly restored in Christ any longer. Up, I done popped. I get it up. Oh, hot dog! I tell you, I'm about to cut one here now.
You mean I can accept myself just as I am? We think God
Hey, but what
accepts us
I'm
just
about
as we are.
if you
but
don't?
I can accept I can though if I choose to, right? I
Yeah,
can accept myself just as I am without wanting myself to be different.
you can go to hell if somebody tell you or you tell them you ain't going there because you done been there, and it still will not deplete your essence of being the perfect self.
I remember the saying that I've seen written on T-shirts. People have used this saying so many times. God is not finished with me yet. And I guess there's a place for that. But in actuality, God is finished with you. He said it is finished.
When it says God is not finished with you yet, the attention is on something that is not. Let's put it like this: God is not finished. How long
Has this been
going on?
I knew you were going there. John Greason says, I'm a double stuffed Oreo.
Well, I'm on Krispy Kreme.
Well, I'm one of the thin Oreos. You know, they got the thin Oreos now.
I'm a gingerbread cookie.
Gingerbread boy.
Well, look out there, girl.
John, you're something else. You are something
The
else.
you that is always and have always been with God identity.
Okay.
You are the you that have always been with God, with God,
With God.
with God,
With God.
identity always existed.
Okay.
I have to say it like that because I can't find the right verbology
There's no such word as
for these terminologies that can
verbology.
that the vocabulary of this God identity is going beyond the expression of words and terminology.
True. True.
Now,
It has. It really has. And our time is up.
is it that quick?
Doggone it.
See, I got up again. I was going to take.
Go ahead.
Margarita,
you got a few minutes.
I was going to talk about the divine revelation of how we picked our parents.
And you going back to the contract. Marvita wants us to have a conversation with her.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about that tonight, but we didn't.
Maybe we could do, Marvita, I will contact you through email. Maybe we can do it on a Tuesday or a Thursday where she can come in as a guest and you can actually go through that. I've got plenty of my journal notes.
All the contracts. Every one of us is talking and listening now we and they together at the speed of God, if there is such a God speed, we talk about God speed.
Yeah.
We picked out these conversations. We picked out all of this.
Yes.
Somebody say, "Well, do we pick out some things that that's not supposed to be in it?" No,
No, everything
No.
that's done
No.
is supposed to be done.
everything is a contract. And the key to this, when you really wake up, I keep saying when we really wake up. Now that we are awake, that's not good enough to say that. It's not. It's almost like a statement made. That's it. And the word statement don't even exist. The word exist don't even exist. The word talking about it don't exist.
We actually run out.
Yeah, that's
because
what that's
we realize
zero.
Because words cannot explain what we are. Words can't explain it.
I went to the doctor today, orthopedic,
Again, follow up
follow up,
after the
and he was the one that
injections.
put the injections in my back.
Yes.
And I asked him, I said, "You remember me talking to you in your office or place over there about the school that you went to before you came to Earth?"
Right.
He said, "Oh yeah, he remember that.
Right.
I remember that." And so he set it up again for me to have a TENS unit. What is that kind of thing you can put in me?
It's a TENS unit, which is a little portable electrical stem.
Yeah, electrical stem.
And he said because Pastor has several places in his spine of what they call stenosis, which is a narrowing where the nerves are, where the nerve runs down the spine. And so that causes the nerves to remain inflamed. So the TENS unit, which is the electrical unit, is a little portable one. They actually have the capability now to put the implant inside the body instead of you wearing electrodes on the outside, so that it can trigger those points and cause you relief, give you relief of the pain.
Right.
So he's supposed to go for a trial of that in just a little bit of, I think it's a consult at first, but then afterwards he's considering getting that done. So we'll see if it really works.
Yeah. And I want to thank every one of you who have financially helped us to stay online. And we want to thank everybody for fulfilling the purpose. Oh, I finna say the birthing purpose of the manifested presence of eternal blessings. Blessings mean multiplication, not subtracting, but multiplying the blessings. And he blessed them and multiplied the fish and the loaves. I mean, add to seemingly something that was not there, but finally appeared. Listen, there's a lot of things that's getting ready to appear to every last one of you under the sound of my voice. Spirit is getting ready to produce something that you forgot, that God didn't forget inside of you, to bring to the forefront of an issue to be solved, dissolved into
solved and resolved and dissolved.
That's it. It's now making its way now on its final step into consciousness to manifest to you what you've been seeking, that no longer, well, you don't seek it now. And the reason why you gave it up, because something God did to himself in your form to satisfy the claim.
Thank you, Sister Pearl, who just sent $25 for Cash App. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, and some of you have been sending not only when we're online, but you send throughout the week. So thank you so much for your gifts, and for those of you who are continually to support Cornerstone as a viable virtual church. And by the way, I got to remind you to please hit the like button. Please do that now. And if you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, to do that as well, to subscribe so that you'll get notifications when we're going live. And also, it helps us when you hit the like button to be pushed up in the algorithm so that other people will find us when they're searching.
Pushed up in the what?
The algorithm. So that other people will find us when they're searching for certain subjects or content, will show up. will show up in that search.
Okay.
And so it's important that you hit the like button. The more likes we get, the better. And that means more people can be blessed by what we say.
Right.
Also, I want to remind you of Pastor's birthday bash that's coming for those of you who are local and want to be there. And I did put in the comment section for Marquesa made me realize that because of the way she watches us online, either by her phone or whatever, that she was unable to read the flyer that I put up. So I want to say it out loud. It's Pastor's 76th birthday, of course. And then it's going to be on November the 18th on a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's going to be at Stephanie's Restaurant in Greensboro. That's 2507 Randleman Road, Greensboro. That's November the 18th on Saturdays at 11 o'clock. We'll be there live and in color.
Sure will.
So I wanted to make sure I said that out loud. Thank you, Marquesa, for letting me know that. Some others may have had the same problem. She couldn't see it on her for her thing that she was using, whatever means she was using to see us. So that's what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. Thank you so much, all of you guys, and keep your nose clean, your britches on, and we'll see you on the turnaround.
We'll be back Thursday with Pastor Norman J. Hickball. Yeah.
Until then,
solved, dissolved, resolved.
You got it. See you later.
All solved, resolved, dissolved. Yes. Adios.